Let's have a conversation.
So you literally were one of my very first followers. And then when you followed me and I, followed back, I was like, this dude is cool. So you literally were one of my very first followers. And then when you followed me and I followed back, I was like, this dude.
Hi, this is not working. What's going on, everybody? I'm here. I have not done an after show recap show in a very long time. As some of you know, I've been sick for the majority of this year and definitely almost this entire month. So it's been a rough go, but I wanted to jump on here for this reunion recap because the reunion was really interesting. And in recent years, the reunions have not been interesting to me. So shout out to MTV for making this kind of almost a throwback. Sorry about that, Ma. And also, thank you for being a 5-month member. Shout out to all my members on this channel. I appreciate all of you. First of all, Maria Menounos. I'm butchering her name. Maria Menounos. I probably still butchered her name again. But anyways, I've said this before on my channel, and I'll say it again. The reason why I even wanted to do or thought I could do these recaps is because of watching Maria Menounos years ago on the on the after show. She had this thing called the after show that was on YouTube. I think it might still exist. I haven't watched it in years, but that was the first like reality TV recap show that I used to watch after watching the challenge, because I didn't have friends or family to talk about these shows afterwards because none of my friends and family watched them. So I would watch her and her panel of maybe like 3 people. It's called AfterBuzz TV. I'm sorry, not the after show. AfterBuzz TV, it was called. And I used to watch them just talk and banter about all the different things that happen on the show, different opinions, men and women's different, thoughts on everybody and what they were doing on the shows. And that interested me. So when I first got on here and started doing recaps, it wasn't because I thought, oh, I'm a recap guy. It was like, let me just get on here and start speaking about what I think and see what happens. And then an audience kind of happened. So I'm glad to see her back because there were years where this reunion special was kind of lost to me, lost in space. They were trying all these different hosts and it was just a mess and it wasn't interesting. So I think bringing her back is a throwback because she was there years ago. She's one of my favorites. What's her name? Justin Valentine. She's one of my favorites also as a host. I think The Miz hosted a couple of reunion shows, and I think I enjoyed those ones. But yeah, she's probably my favorite. But enough of that. We're gonna dive into this recap really quick. So the first thing I have here in my notes was the whole Kylan and Asaf thing, which they were very smart with the editing. I mean, I don't know if this was a very long thing in real time, but they started showing this as the preview from the last episode to this episode where Kylan and Asaf were arguing, and Asaf called Kylan a B, and Kylan was like, you thought I was talking about your mother, and you thought I was speaking about your mother, and you didn't do anything to me, so who's the real B? And they kind of got in each other's faces a little bit, but then security. I was laughing at security because security they were like security, and security kind of trotted over there. Like nobody seemed to really be in danger. Like this wasn't on the CT scale. Excuse me. This was probably like a 5 or a 6 out of 10 on the CT scale. Maybe actually, if it's a CT scale, more like a 3 or a 4 out of 10. It didn't look really dangerous. And then there was what did Maria call it? The parent alliance, I think she said. And they were debating, Asaf and Melissa were debating over what was said. And Melissa was like, you said because we're both parents, or Asaf told Melissa that he said, we will let each other know what's going on as parents, but that whole thing was kind of unimportant. Moving on from that. Oh, Kylan said that Asaf was like, my wife would kill me if I put you in. Kylan said that's what Asaf said to Melissa, and it was a whole misunderstanding. But it was kind of much ado about nothing. Melissa's dramatic. Asaf is also dramatic. Asaf was basically throwing everyone's name out there on the stage. He had a little weird thing with Darrell, where Darrell told him, keep my name out your mouth. Then there was the whole Corey versus Big T and Melissa thing, where in the last episode, part 1, Big T and Melissa were standing up and pointing at him and cursing at him. And he was cursing at them and yelling at them. And then in part 2, they apologized to each other. They were like, I can't hate you. It was anticlimactic, but it is what it is. There was this weird Tori and Cara Maria stuff that was going on all night. So the first thing that we saw was Tori mentioning that Cara Maria blocked her, which was a recurring theme that they kept going back through this. So Cara Maria and Tori, I found it kind of funny, like that Cara Maria, Tori, and Laurel were basically getting so much airtime in this because honestly, they were not really that much of a part of the show. They were there as mercenaries, so they were probably happy to get on here to get a free trip out of it, to get some airtime and some promo for All Stars that's coming out. And then probably after All Stars, it seems like they're all going to be on season 40, I would assume. It looked that way. I was so happy to see Cara Maria back on my screen. I'm so excited to see her back on All Stars, even though I know it was recorded a while back. I'm still going to be excited to see her on All Stars 4, and I want to see her back on season 40. She looks so much more comfortable than she did when she was on the show. It looks like the break did her well, and she looked like she was having a good time up there despite her backs and forth with Tori. I will say this of Tori. And I'll start by saying, hey, Andrew, I will start by saying, meeting these people does not mean that I know them. I'm going to say that right out. Some of them I do. Some of them I have kind of gotten to know. But the majority of them, meeting them doesn't mean that I know them. However, I will say that I met Tori, and some things that originally I might look at and think that she's just joking around or playing around, I don't necessarily feel that way anymore. And I'll tell you what specifically I'm talking about. When she kept mentioning about Cara Maria blocking her and saying, oh, she thinks it's because of jealousy, or all these different things that she was saying about being blocked, and Cara wanting to be her partner on a what's it called, rivals, like on a rival season. I think that Tori genuinely actually cares about why Cara Maria blocked her, because if you meet Tori, and especially in the type of setting that I met Tori in, which was her book release of her poetry book, when she was reading through all that stuff, and then she was talking about her experiences while she's been on the challenge. She's a person who really cares about, you know, what people think about her, and I think that at some point in time, her and Cara Maria were actually friends, and I think that it bothers her that Cara Maria does not want to speak to her. If I remember correctly, I mean, just based on the show stuff, there was a whole Cara Maria and Polly versus Tori and Jordan type of thing. So I think that their beef was like connected to that in some ways, but I don't know. Things happen outside of the show that we don't know about. I have not specifically heard any tea about season 40. Excuse my coughing. I'm still pretty sick, but I wanted to get on here and do this anyways. I'm trying to make this as quick as possible, but run through everything I have here in my notes. So there was a scene that they showed about Colleen and Berna, where Berna wasn't actually there at the reunion, but Berna was basically calling Colleen fake. Berna said that she protected Colleen for a big portion of the show, and that Colleen wasn't grateful for that. And then they asked Colleen, like, what do you think about that? And Colleen was like, well, I am grateful that she protected me on the show, but then after the show, she was all calling me so much. Like, why are you calling me so much? I don't understand. You know, like we're not. It doesn't make sense. I have a busy life, and I'm like, wow, Colleen, cold blooded. Hi, Colleen. Good evening. Not to be confused with this Colleen, the Colleen from the challenge. So then there was the meat and potatoes of the episode, which is that they wanted to show us the beef between Nerese and Jay. So this was a big part of last episode and this episode. I call them episodes, even though it's not an episode technically. Part of the reunions are acting. I mean, there's an audience, there's a camera crew, and some of the stuff that they do is for entertainment purposes. So it is kind of a show. But anyways, I digress. Colleen said, "Hi, Andrew. I'm the good Colleen." That's funny. Uh, um, where are we at here? Yeah, Nerese and Jay. So Jay was, oh yes, I'm getting to this JT, but before that, Nerese was crying and saying that she was a true friend to Jay. She was like, I've known you for 5 years outside of the show. And he's like, and how many times have we hung out? I get so annoyed by this card that these people play. It made me think back to Sarah Rice and Johnny Bananas. So for those who are challenge historians, they remember when Sarah and Johnny were on a rival season together, Johnny Bananas, and then they won together, but then Johnny was the individual winner and had a choice whether to split the money or take all of it. And he said, I'm going to take the money and run Teach. So when I first I hated Johnny Bananas. I was like, man, this guy is one of the biggest villains on reality competition show history, and he might still be. But when I revisited, watched it, the season before, 1 or 2 seasons before, they were on a season together and they were working together the whole time. And then Jordan and Sarah threw in Johnny Bananas and Nani. into an elimination right before the finals, and Johnny got eliminated. And then when they got on the reunion, Johnny said, "Oh, we were good friends and you did this to me, so this is payback basically." And she said, "Oh, but we're challenge friends." This challenge card, okay? A lot of times they pull this challenge card. They'll get on the show and then they'll be like, "This is my best friend. I love this person. This is my best friend. My best friend just left the house. It's never going to be the same. My best friend, my best friend, my best friend." But then when they get outside of the show, they're like, "Oh, we weren't even really friends. We just met each other 2 weeks ago. Then why are you saying best friend?" And then the other part of it is you can't expect that everybody throws those things out there lightly. So I guess that's my long and short of way of saying that I'm on Narissa's side here. I'm on Narissa's side. Jay and Olivia are clearly downplaying those friendships when those friendships were, I think, more legitimate. I don't think that best friend meant like you're my very best friend in life, but I think that it was like you are definitely one of my closest friends on this show that we do together. Like everybody has had close coworkers and people that, start start as, business friends and then they become your real friends. It happens. So essentially though, Jay was trying to defend himself, but yeah, I would say that I'm on Narissa's side of that argument. Then they just threw a random bomb in there where they were like, everybody said that Jay and Olivia kissed. I think Nerissa was the first person to say it. Big T was like, "I saw it with my own two eyes." Melissa was like, "I saw it." I think Raven said she saw it. A bunch of them said they saw it. Jay said it never happened, and Olivia said it did. I'm going to believe half the stage that said that they saw it, plus one half of the equation, Olivia, that said she did it. But they were trying to expose Jay. Yes, it was probably a petty move, and they probably did plan that before they got on the stage, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Then we had the Bananas and Mariah situation where Mariah was just like, "I'm sorry. I feel sorry that I hurt him. I wish I had done it in a more tasteful way, but I'm not upset that it happened." And Johnny was doing his own thing on his own show, which is House of Villains. you know, I don't really understand how she said that she could have done it in a more. I don't really know what a more tasteful way would have been. I think he would have been mad, regardless. They showed an extra unseen hookup. Emmanuel, I don't know what it is about Emmanuel and all these that makes all these ladies from the show gravitate towards him, but they showed an unseen hookup between Berna and Emmanuel. Emmanuel, unsurprisingly, is no longer with his girlfriend. I forgot to mention, I skipped over accidentally. Hold on one second. I skipped over. I'm trying to show you guys my screen. Yes, I skipped over Michelle, the whole thing with Michelle and Callum. Now, she said that when she saw about Callum's girlfriend and the call to the girlfriend, she said she had never seen it before. I was there the first time that she saw it. Roll the footage.
Shit happening before I came to the house. never really my intention for like what's happened, you know. It wasn't my fault. It was not my fault. You put Michelle in the
He
house.
was
Michelle's like,
genuinely extremely upset.
one I've won. Really and truly, I do not know what the hell I am doing.
She said she didn't know that call happened.
She had no idea until just now. She feels
Anyways, yeah, that was interesting because I was there at the premiere party, not knowing anything that happened in the season. Obviously, Olivia was there, Raven. I think those might have been the only people from that current season that were there. Yeah, Michelle. I actually like Michelle more now than I did prior to meeting her because the same person she is on the show is the same person that she is at events, and the same person you see on that reunion stage. That's Michelle all day, and that means the good, the bad, and the ugly. You see everything on display. You see everything on display with her. Yeah, so she was genuinely shocked, and she was like, she admitted at the event, she was like, I was devastated and heartbroken to find out that Callum had a girlfriend back home, which he apparently is still with. Laurel was going hard on him. Laurel is trying to get some airtime because she was hardly there. She was there for one elimination as a mercenary. And she had the most to say at the reunion, except for Nerese, obviously, who was the center of many storylines. Love when people are their real selves, ain't nothing better. And I can tell you, out of all the challenged people, I'll tell you, I met several of the people on that stage, some that were not on that stage. Michelle was very authentic. Devin, the exact same dry sarcasm that you see there is what it was like when I met him. Who else from the show? I met Olivia. Olivia is Olivia's Olivia. Olivia's Olivia. Y'all remember I gave her that trophy last season and it broke. And then I saw her at the beginning of this season. What's interesting is she got a lot of love from the fans because it was the premiere episode. It was a premiere episode, so nobody really knew what happened during the season. So everyone was just happy to see her and Raven and Michelle, but more her and Raven than Michelle. But I know that later on the fandom kind of came for Olivia. I don't hate Olivia. I mean, obviously, I'm a fan, so for me, I never hate people on shows based on really what they do to other people on the shows. That's more of their personal relationship between Nerese and Olivia and Jay. I will say, I was a lot more of a Jay fan before this season. I'm not really feeling Jay too much after the season. But y'all know that I'm not somebody who, when I don't like somebody from a show, I don't drag them, trash them, make a bunch of videos about them. It's just that I don't really follow them too tough outside of the show. What else happened? A couple more things I have on here. Melissa apologized to Raven for throwing the drink at her. She was like, "I'm a girl's girl. I was at a boiling point and I took it out on you." Melissa took another shot at Jay for messing around while he's in a relationship. And the night mercifully came to an end. And then they talked about All Stars 4 coming out, which I'm excited about. I want to shout out Ayana, who was on All Stars season 4. She is currently, battling with breast cancer, and I'm wishing her a speedy and complete recovery. I'm looking forward to the season coming out. It's been a long time since they filmed it, and it's been pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. But finally, we are going to see All Stars 4 April 10th. And I assume that possibly during All Stars 4, season 40 is going to start being recorded. And I've heard, Laurel is possibly coming back, Cara Maria, Jordan, Bananas. Yeah, she's fighting cancer. She is fighting cancer. And she is somebody that I now know personally. So I know from her that it's a very up and down battle. I always say the challenge is like these shows are these shows at the end of the day. The challenge, Big Brother, the Traitors. But behind these shows are people that just have, you know, I don't necessarily want to say ordinary lives, because their lives do change when they get on the show, because now they are social media famous. Um, they do events, appearances. They have to be kind of on more than the average person. So they do have changes that they experience in life. For some of them, they gain some success, financial success, popularity, etc. But at the end of the day, they're still people, and they are vulnerable to the same things that we are, and they experience ups and downs and sick illnesses and things like that. So that's why I don't go super hard on anyone from the show. And yeah, cancer does suck. I actually recently lost my aunt to cancer, as some of you know. Rest in peace to her. I just went to her funeral service in Detroit. I think it was 2 weekends ago, and it was very tough, especially, you know, yeah, it was just tough. So I hope and pray for a full recovery for Ayana and anyone else who's battling with cancer. Also, my brother went through chemo. It makes you so sick to your stomach. I hope she can beat it. My bro lost his battle with non-Hodgkin's, but he was sick of the treatments anyways. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. And I know a lot of people who say the treatments are so tough. People that have made it and people that have not made it. Anyways, I made the 30-minute mark somehow because I can barely speak. And I am going to go for now, but it was great to be back on here. And tomorrow is the Traitors finale. I can't wait for that. I might do a recap tomorrow. I might do a recap Friday. I'm not sure. But we got the Traitors. What else? I think that's it for now. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. And I hope everybody has an amazing night. Thank you, Colleen. because this sickness has just been on to go. But I'll be happy when I feel 100% again. And I will talk to y'all soon. Have an amazing night.